In the last 5 years, Mali has witnessed a transformation that few would have imagined possible in such a short span of time. Emerging from years of uncertainty and navigating both economic and security challenges, the country under the leadership of the transition has pushed forward a bold vision of development. Central to this vision has been a strong focus on transport, infrastructure, and agriculture, sectors that have the power to redefine the daily lives of Malians and set the stage for long-term growth. The Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure, guided by a spirit of innovation and determination, has rolled out projects that touch every corner of the country, proving that even in times of hardship, progress is not only possible, but achievable with clarity of purpose and the will to act. Between 2020 and 2025, over 8,700 kilometers of roads were maintained and more than 1,600 kilometers of rural tracks were improved across Mali. For a country where poor connectivity has long been a stumbling block to economic and social integration, this achievement is monumental. Roads are not simply asphalt and gravel, they are lifelines that connect farmers to markets, students to schools, patients to hospitals, and entire communities to opportunities. The government's consistent investment in these routes has been a message that development is not a distant promise, but a reality under construction. This drive for connectivity was backed by a new spirit of modernization at the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure. Under the leadership of Dembele Medina Sissoko, the ministry launched forward-thinking initiatives that not only repaired what was broken, but introduced entirely new systems to ease the daily struggles of citizens. One of the landmark innovations was the implementation of Sigolo, a digital system that transformed how transport services operate. By digitizing payments and documentation, this system accelerated processes that once took days, cut out inefficiencies, secured procedures against corruption, and improved service quality for Malians. In a world increasingly moving towards digital solutions, Mali's embrace of this innovation placed it on a promising trajectory of modernization. The ministry also prioritized road safety, an area often overlooked in infrastructure discussions. Thousands of lives in Africa are lost every year to preventable road accidents. Recognizing this, Mali introduced intelligent traffic lights, variable message signs, and redesigned dangerous intersections. Alongside these infrastructural upgrades, enforcement was strengthened with the acquisition of modern speed radars, breathalyzers, and drug testing devices, bringing a level of seriousness to road safety that directly protects lives. In the air transport sector, bold projects brought new energy. Airports across Mali saw new construction and modernization works. At Bamako's Modibo Keita International Airport, a new boarding bridge linking Terminals 1 and 2 was installed, easing passenger flow and raising service standards. A national airline, Mali Airlines SA, was created to restore national pride in the skies and ensure Mali had its own flag carrier representing the nation internationally. A new meteorological prediction and data processing center was also launched, vital not only for aviation, but for agriculture and disaster preparedness. To ensure safety in air operations, the airport's rescue and firefighting base was strengthened with new facilities. The country's air sector, once viewed as underdeveloped, began stepping into a new era with projects designed to sustain both domestic travel and international connections. Infrastructure expansion was not limited to airports or major highways. It reached deep into regions that had long suffered from neglect. In Sikasso, a dual carriageway and viaduct were constructed along with 10 kilometers of urban roads. The Kadiolo-Zegwa road link, stretching more than 32 kilometers, was upgraded to improve trade routes in the southern regions. In Bamako, multiple neighborhoods saw significant roadworks. The axis linking the third bridge to RN6 was developed into a dual carriageway, and a viaduct was built to ease congestion. Rehabilitation projects touched the Tour of Africa Iram section, while works extended into Kubleni, Kuluba, Kati, and beyond. These were not symbolic gestures, but real improvements that have already begun reducing travel times, boosting local economies, and giving citizens a renewed sense of pride in their surroundings. Even more impressive are the large-scale projects still underway. The expansion of National Road 27 between Bamako and Koulikoro is ongoing, a crucial route for both trade and local connectivity. The Sandere-Kayes stretch, 138 kilometers on the Bamako-Dakar corridor, is being rehabilitated to support one of West Africa's most important trade routes. On the RN6, the Sévaré-Mopti section is being transformed into a dual carriageway with 10 kilometers of new urban roads, while Mopti Airport is being connected with a new bypass road. Across Bamako and Sigolo, smaller but vital roads have been improved, including access to hospitals and schools, clear evidence that infrastructure was designed not just for commerce, but for social well-being. While transport and infrastructure tell one part of the story, agriculture has been another centerpiece of Mali's journey during these 5 years. Recognizing that food self-sufficiency is the foundation of sovereignty, the government gave unprecedented support to farmers. Cotton, one of Mali's most important cash crops, became a symbol of this policy. The government raised the purchase price for cotton to 300 CFA francs per kilogram, an increase from the previous season, signaling to farmers that their labor is valued and protected. In addition to cotton, cereal production received major boosts, with Mali producing more than 11 million tons of cereals in a single year. The targets set for the 2025 campaign are ambitious but realistic. Nearly 11.7 million tons of cereals and 682,000 tons of cotton seeds. To support these goals, significant financial backing was mobilized. 79 billion CFA francs were raised through banking pools to secure inputs for farmers. Seeds, fertilizers, and pesticides were made available in record numbers. Cotton farmers had access to subsidized fertilizers, while other producers benefited from more than 34,000 tons of fertilizers provided with the support of international partners. Seed distribution covered every stage, from pre-basic to certified, ensuring that productivity gains could be sustained for years to come. Mechanization also advanced with the provision of tractors, threshers, motor pumps, and cultivation equipment, allowing farmers to move beyond traditional tools and increase efficiency. The agricultural sector also faced natural challenges, particularly flooding during the 2024 campaign. Yet even in the face of setbacks, more than 14,000 farmers received compensation from the Food Security Commission, an acknowledgement that their sacrifices and losses would not go unnoticed. In parallel, land development projects added thousands of hectares to cultivation. The Prime Minister personally launched the development of 4,200 hectares in the Office du Niger zone, with financing from German cooperation, while nearly 2,800 hectares were set aside for local irrigation. These expansions point toward a strategy that blends modern mechanization with traditional resilience. The government's commitment also extended to rice cultivation, launching forums and programs to boost intensive rice farming. In a country where rice is a staple food, these efforts are vital to reducing import dependency and ensuring affordable prices for consumers. At the same time, the agricultural census was revived and operationalized, recording over 816,000 family farms and 316 agribusiness enterprises. This data now forms the backbone of agricultural planning, ensuring that decisions are based on facts rather than assumptions. Equally important has been land security. Farmers cannot invest their labor and savings on land they fear could be taken from them. The recovery of the Bamako farmlands, which had been illegally sold to a real estate company, symbolized the government's resolve to protect agricultural land for its intended purpose. This move reassured farmers that the state stands with them and values agriculture as a pillar of national identity and strength. Energy and environmental innovations complemented these achievements. a 220-kilowatt solar plant was installed, providing sustainable energy for monitoring and operations. Dozens of meteorological and agri-meteorological stations were deployed, strengthening climate monitoring at a time when unpredictable weather patterns can devastate harvests. Air quality monitoring stations were also introduced, a forward-looking step that positions Mali as a country concerned not only with growth, but with the health and sustainability of its people and environment. Taken together, these achievements paint a picture of a nation in motion, determined to leave behind stagnation and embrace progress. Roads stretching across thousands of kilometers now link towns and villages, cutting travel times and stimulating trade. Airports with modern facilities are connecting Mali to the world with renewed pride. Farmers are producing at record levels, supported by subsidies, mechanization, and secure land. Energy and environmental monitoring systems are in place to support long-term sustainability. Behind all of this lies a guiding principle. Development is not an option, but a necessity. By prioritizing infrastructure and agriculture, the transition leadership recognized that true sovereignty begins with the ability to feed oneself and move freely within one's borders. Every kilometer of road, every ton of grain, and every secure farm plot represents more than statistics. They represent a future where Malians live with greater dignity, resilience, and opportunity. The past 5 years have not been without hardship, but they have demonstrated that vision coupled with determination can turn challenges into achievements. Mali has shown that even in the midst of economic and security difficulties, progress is possible when the right priorities are set. As the country moves beyond the transition period, the foundation laid in transport, infrastructure, and agriculture will continue to bear fruit for generations. It is not only a record of what was accomplished in 5 years, but also a roadmap of what can be achieved when a nation refuses to give up on itself. This story of Mali's renewal is one of resilience, innovation, and above all, hope. The work of the past 5 years is not an end, but a beginning, pointing toward a future where development is no longer a distant dream, but a living, unfolding reality for the people of Mali.